Okay, good evening, Litchfield. Welcome to the March 7th, 2024 meeting of the Litchfield Conservation Commission Conservation Commission. I call this meeting to order, 6:33 p.m. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okie dokie. Got almost a full house tonight. Diane, would you take us through the roll call?
Very nice. Mr. Croto.
Here.
Mr. Mazigian.
Here.
Diane Plansky is present. Mr. Chair.
Here.
Ms. Vice Chair.
Here.
Mr. Mr. Lavash, are you totally here?
I am 100% here.
Mr. French.
Here.
And Mr. Hoffman.
Here.
We have a full house. We are missing only our selectman's rep, Mr.
Lynch.
Lynch. Oh, yeah.
And he said he might be coming a little bit late, so we don't have any free spots, it looks like. So full participation by everybody, voting by regular board commission members. So we all good. We're glad George is here. George had surgery today on his tennis elbow. Hopefully in 6 weeks, he'll be weed whacking again. 8 weeks, hopefully.
Golfing.
Just in time.
Forget about golfing. We need him to
No.
weed whack and clean up the mustard field. Public input related to non-agenda items. We have a couple of people in the audience. Anybody willing to speak up on non-agenda items? Going once, twice, third, closing that out at 6:34 p.m. New business. Quick reminder here, folks. We got like 14 things on the agenda tonight.
Move right along.
So, if we can move it along, I think that would be good. New business, item number 1 is the Spirit of Litchfield event. They are having a Easter egg scavenger hunt, and they want to be able to use Moores Falls to set up a table in the parking lot like they've done in previous years, and they're looking for our permission to do that. Anybody got any issues with that?
No, I did email them and to understand what it was, and they don't go hunting around anywhere. They just pick up items or they try to tell
At
the
a
kids
table.
how to get to Moores Falls.
Yep.
That's the scavenger hunt part of it.
Yep.
So,
Well, didn't they say they wanted to use Parker Park too?
and too, but we don't control.
We don't control Parker Park.
Oh.
Yeah. At least the front half of Parker Park. Good catch, though. I'll entertain a motion to allow the Spirit of Litchfield to use Moores Falls for the Easter egg scavenger hunt event.
So moved.
Motion by Joan, seconded by Harry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 6-0-0. Moving on, reappointments to the Conservation Commission. We took a look at the folks that are up for reappointment. Matt, you originally popped up as needing to get reappointed this year. We verified with the town clerk's office. I think you're good till next year. But Mr. French, you are up this year, 2024. So we need to get him reappointed. How does that work?
He just has to say he wants to be reappointed, and we let Kim know, and they do reappointments after town meeting.
Okay, so do we have to take any motion or action here at all?
No, just be certain he would like to
Yeah.
stay on. That's good.
So we need to send Ms. Kleiner an email in
Yes.
regards to that? Okay.
And Mr. Croto, is Mr. Croto up?
I did not see that
I
Mr.
didn't see
Croto
who
was up.
was. No.
And maybe it's the planning board.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll check that out while we're deliberating.
Okay.
All right, so I'll send that letter off, Fred, and I'll just copy you, and then I think you'll be reappointed at
Just
the
get
Board of
sworn in.
Selectmen, and then get sworn in after
You don't
that?
have to go to the Board of Selectmen. They'll just,
I don't have to?
no,
Yeah,
after the
just
town
sworn
meeting, they'll reappoint you and then get sworn in again, yes.
in. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, moving on. UNH Cooperative Extension, the Pollinator Garden Talk.
Well,
Harry.
I did the survey and the pollinator garden came up. I have tried to get it for March 26th. I sent an email out on that. So Murphy's Law was against me. First of all, the 26th, the fire department got it tied up, and the master gardener who's supposed to do it got sick. So I put it out for the second week or the first week or the second week in April. So as soon as I hear something back, but I will need a motion to accept it because we're gonna have to end up, it cost $100.
Okay.
Do you have any money in the budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've got it in there for,
Okay.
activities. We've got a budget line item in there. Okay, everybody round the horn here? Folks think it's a good idea?
Yeah, I think so.
Love it.
Anybody want to make a motion to do the pollinator garden talk at the cost of $100 to come out of some budget?
I would love to do make a motion that we would love to do the pollinator talk, and hopefully we can get some garden people from the community garden into it.
Can I second it?
And hopefully not the first or third Tuesday, because that was a conflict. Not the second or the 16th, because that's planning board conflict, so any other day.
Well, I tried for Tuesday or Thursday in
Yeah.
both weeks, so.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve holding a talk related to development of a pollinator garden.
So moved.
At a place and time to happen for an upper limit of $100 to come from the Conservation Commission budget.
So moved.
Motion by Diane, seconded by
I'll second.
Matt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries 600. Thank you, Harry. For the folks on TV, we're going to have a pollinator talk. I think that involves birds and bees, right, Joan?
Right.
All right. Next item on the agenda, Parker Park Bridge concept. George, are you okay to talk?
I am okay to talk.
All right.
I think that is in, hold on, let me tell you which.
Yeah, I've got it.
It's in
No folder. it's in?
four. You told me.
He sent a link in his email. that
Four,
has
it's in
it.
4.
Okay.
Park, yeah. 4 Parker Park.
And that document right there?
Yes.
Good.
Okay. So, you, me, and Matt went down and looked at possible locations for the bridge. Can you click on that first link? And I did send this out to everybody.
Bear with me.
So, yeah, the first link is gonna show, I did some investigation over at Hidden Creek, okay, because Rick said that he had put some bridges in there. And so I went and looked at his bridges, and so you bring that up. Some of the I-beams are quite large, okay, it depends on the span. There are some 40-foot spans there. There are some spans that are, like 25 or 30 feet. They have 12-inch I-beams. They're 12 by 8s on the smaller ones, okay? So, and then he's got, 3 beams going across the bridge. And you can see that there was a cement pocket in there, right? So those beams fit in that cement pocket. They can't move. There are no railings on these. They're used for golf carts. I mean, people do walk across them. I think if we were to put a footbridge across a flowing stream, we would need a handrail. Okay, so that was some of my research into what he's done. If you keep, now can you keep going down?
Going?
So,
Did I send you those pictures?
Diane and I went down and, keep going. Yeah, till you get to Parker Park. So we did some measuring right, there you go. So this was the site, the first site we came to coming down from the driveway. And there was a big rock right there, and I came up with like a 30-foot span to get to where she is on the other side and all the way to where I am. It's actually less than 30 feet there, but that, because of that rock and whatnot, I thought we might need a 30-foot span. I'm gonna talk later about, we might use these helical piles for putting in footings, which is basically a screw and a steel post that gets set down, and it may cost about the same or maybe slightly more than concrete, but you don't have to get the truck in there, you don't have to have the engineering drawings for it, and they may go in better spots.
So, sorry, how do you drive those in? Is there
He's
special
got,
tools or
he's
something?
got a 4-foot wide, it's kind of like a ditch witch, but with a screw mechanism, an auger on it, and he augers them in.
Who's he?
He is, let's see here, Parker Park. He is the owner of Goliath Tech. It's Goliath Tech Quote. What's his name? I can't remember his name right now. So I spoke with this guy on the phone. He lives in Salem, and he can come over and take a look at the site and possibly do the.
So it's on tracks?
Yeah, it's on tracks, so he could go down the path, or he could go in from the field to the two sites. We could cut a little path there.
Okay.
And then we are going to cut a path anyways from the community garden.
Right.
So we would rough in the community garden path to get him to the opposite side. Okay, so because of the rocks, and so this is the second site, I think, yes, and you can see there, it was in between two trees, and there's a rock over there.
What side are you?
I'm on the peninsula. She is on the path side.
Okay.
And so I'm on the peninsula side.
You're on the community garden side.
Yeah.
I'm on the community garden side, yes. Yes, I'm on the community garden side,
Okay.
okay?
And Diane's on the park side?
You're right. So,
That Diane.
that's very close to where we cut the trees that were down, at the end. So that's only requires a 25-foot span?
That's the area that we looked at when we were there that day.
Yes.
Okay.
That looks
Okay.
good.
Right, well, the problem is how do you, I need him to come down and see where he could put actual posts, okay? So our crossing point now may be restricted by where we could actually put a post for the foundation for the bridge.
Do we need these posts? I mean, can we dig down with a post hole digger, put footings down there, put some boards on top of it,
Let-
run it across?
Let's just say, if you couldn't put a post, if you can't drill down with that auger, which is only 3 inches wide and maybe a
Yeah.
little bit bigger, we're not gonna be able to dig down. I mean, there's roots and trees, so
Rocks.
the thing is, when we get to the bridge, it comes with engineering drawings, and it says this is, what the load force needs to be in order to support this thing, and we will have flooding, do you know what I mean? And so we need to make sure we can handle the shear
I was
forces.
just gonna chop down a couple of trees and then throw a couple 2x4s on top of it and call it a day, right?
We
Joe?
have, we
trees
have
right
old
there.
telephone poles.
Well, that was my thought as well, we
So
could do
these-
telephone poles.
I just found the ones I sent you from Hudson.
Who approves this?
That's what I was gonna say, we
yeah,
need to
let's-
talk to the building
Yeah,
department.
time out. Let me do a little preface on this. So for the past few years, we've been talking about putting a bridge across Parker Park somewhere so that we can make a loop trail. When we signed the lease for the back half of Parker Park from the farm, in that lease, they allow us to put a bridge. Just so happens that when New Hampshire DOT improved the Pinecrest 3A intersection 20-something years ago, they left a pot of money and they put it in a fund in Town Hall to build a bridge across the brook at Parker Park because there was a bridge there that got removed. That fund still exists here at Town Hall to the best extent that I know. It did a couple of years ago. And so there's funds in there to build a bridge. We have not discussed this recently with the Board of Selectmen. We did, a few years ago. This concept has not been brought up anywhere beside, here for right now, but it's something I think we would all like to do at some point in time.
And so,
Our understanding of the funds is it can only be used to build a bridge.
That's, Troy Brown, I believe, tried to use them for something else. This is what he told me, and the state came back and said they can only be used for a bridge.
right, and just to let you know how I got here, I went and looked at Passaconaway, they have steel I-beams, I started pricing out steel I-beams, I found these, reinforced fiberglass.
In with the one arm that you got there.
Yeah, reinforced, fiberglass plastic beams,
Yeah.
and this company called Ready Span, and actually, can you get back out of here and go to the
The second of 18 links that
Yeah,
you
no,
have?
just go all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
Okay. So, there's a ready span, does that say, no, not videos, keep going down. There's a picture, embedded.
Right
Okay,
there.
right there. So, wow. So, they have two styles of bridges. If we stay at 25 feet or less, this is the style of bridge that can be done. It has beams that are like I-beams that support the bridge structure. If we go over 25 feet, there's a different style of bridge that has trusses that go across, and it's a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
And the price goes up, okay? This is only a 16-foot bridge with ramps. We would not need ramps. We would probably just go with a 25. And so what happens is, because these have these I-beams that support it, he would drill, I think, two of these posts to support a carrying beam that would carry this. So
Okay.
I'm just doing research, and I'm just presenting this as an option, okay? Now, if you go back up to the cost area, sorry. And there could be, yeah, right there. There are other RFP reinforced fiberglass, plastic, or whatever, companies that make these panels, right? It's basically a big erector set, okay? You can buy an option where it comes delivered, that's obviously more money, but it's just galvanized bolts and the erector set, and we could put it together and put it across.
Yep.
There is an $1,800 shipping fee for this, okay? And I got a rough estimate from this Goliath Tech Piles. He said the worst case, and this includes shipping and everything, is $2,900 to put those posts in.
Where is this company located? Is this something he could do a site survey for? Or?
Yeah, he's in Salem.
Okay.
Right, and he knows Litchfield, and I was gonna set up have him come over and
Yeah,
take
that'd
a
be
look.
great.
And some of us should all, we should all
Yeah.
look and see, does that look like a valid spot for you, blah, blah, blah. So there are different costs. So that one we showed was a green one, so all in for the 25-foot in green would be 18,000, okay? That's,
What do we have in that
We
account?
had about 15, but there's been interest.
okay. Now, if you want a brown one, okay, so they use a different resin, it's almost 22,000.
Oh, we don't need
Okay.
that.
So,
You can paint it.
I don't know if you can paint it. But, so,
Let it rust.
The kids will paint it.
but if you go to a 30-foot bridge, the cost goes to almost 30,000. Now,
Oh,
because of the stronger materials, but, and this is a 5-foot wide bridge with 2x12 yellow pine planking
Railings
and railings.
and railings.
Yellow pine planking?
Yeah.
So how long will that hold up?
I'm not sure. There would be, I didn't do the upcharge for, you can get,
No, I mean-
plastic,
Oh, okay.
you can get plastics, but
Tracks.
something like
Yeah.
Trex, because it would be sort of their same material. So, that's all I know, okay, I've got prices, I don't know if it could be done cheaper. I did find a company that has done a number of bridges in like Manchester, like rec trail bridges, so we could just give them a call and say, could you give us a quote to do the whole thing? Right, see, I don't know if we want to get into the business of engineering concrete supports for bridges that.
Too much
That's
liability
bad.
there.
No,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think if we have the money, we should, maybe get one that's correct, I mean, you saw the bridges when we did the site walk, possibly off of Pearson. Those bridges have lasted a long time, right? But that's for some guy riding his bikes or, this is over running water that,
Yeah, and shady, damp area.
There's some bridges I saw, I kind of showed Jay a couple of the pictures ages ago, 2 years ago maybe, that are, trying to think the name of the park. I have lots of pictures of them and I can get you there. But the Hudson Conservation Commission did them, and they had footings on them. I just sent them to you as well. They didn't have steel beams underneath them, and as far as the railings went, I don't know that we have anywhere near that kind of money. I don't know what we have.
There's like 18,000 in there.
Is there?
Yeah, 17, 18,000.
Yeah, it might be worth it to just, they're beautiful bridges and they have like a climbing rope as opposed to a solid railing.
Send a
Yeah.
picture.
I did, I sent
him
them to George. I sent them to you in a
I think
video.
you should send it to the bridge committee.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
That would be.
Which is you.
The bridge subcommittee.
Which is you.
But anyway.
Thought I
yes.
just did.
So, yeah, send them to me, and we now have a folder for this bridge, right? So, this document is on the portal, so everybody can access it.
Okay.
And
Have we even thought about maybe asking the National Guard?
Do they-
We tried to do that
Do that
with the
in-
river access,
Yeah.
and it just was a circular
Spiraled.
conversation
Okay,
for
no, I'm just
years
curious.
at a time, but
Yeah.
it's possible, because they actually did help. The guy, Jim Spots in town,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
did help with building something on the back of Talent Hall within the last couple of years. It might
Fix
be
the
worth
porch.
checking
They
out.
also have the prefabricated bridges.
the amphibious ones, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I
that,
think
CBs.
they
Yeah.
got other
you
uses
could
for
drive a
those.
tank across. I understand that's
Right.
overkill.
I mean, I've done a lot of research on this, and I was thinking online, you can actually, because it's over 25 feet, you can purchase a pre-configured bridge, and they drop it off.
Right.
And I think that's what you've done. But then I'm looking at them like 25 feet. I'm wondering if when I was doing my research, I think I actually called the Trails Bureau
Yeah.
at the state of New Hampshire, and they had like predefined specs for bridges. And I thought that they were pretty simple, like the ones that you had.
This
which
is a
had-
pretty simple.
Which had like 3 footings and then 3 spans going across, and just,
It's a beautiful
PT or
bridge. You
whatever.
feel very comfortable on it.
Yeah, I am not married to this, I'm willing to, you know,
Yeah.
and we.
Maybe
so
we could take a
maybe-
walk, though.
Maybe I go to the trails and I suck that information and I put it on the portal and everybody can see
And
it.
if we,
might be worth it.
no, I'm sorry, if we build this bridge across the stream, do we need any kind of, I hate to even say it, special permits from the state? Because you're,
Not so much from the state, but you should have the building inspector look at it before you buy anything.
Yeah.
Good
you know,
idea.
you're going across a waterway and.
Right, exactly. Well, that's why it might need to be designed or whatever, figured out, yeah,
I agree.
I'll call Hudson Concom
yeah.
and, see if I can get your contact.
To the guy in Salem that you were talking to?
No, I think he has to come and see it.
Yeah, because my concern is just the trees, right? It's those trees go down and.
Well,
The root.
yes,
Well, too,
Ten
so,
years from
right,
now,
so-
the roots dissolve and-
so there's a spot, so the first picture I showed, you know, I said it was 30 feet. If you move upstream just a little bit, there's better sand, and we could possibly, go 25 feet there. The only which one, go backwards. Keep going. Okay, see right there?
Yeah.
So, just to the left, so as you're looking at it, there's a small tree to the left of her, then there's another tree.
Yeah.
Right to the left of that tree is probably a good area to go across. The only problem is the footings would be below the bank level,
Yeah.
all right? And I was wondering about what kind of load we'd have during flood season. You know, do we want the bridge above the bank?
Yeah.
Because we
So
get
then it goes
washed out.
longer, and then we hit the 30,000 bridge, which is way out of our price.
Yeah,
You know,
the thing I like about that area is you just have the natural erosion control with the big boulders.
Yeah.
there, so.
exactly.
Protects the
So,
bank.
so we need him to come in and see if
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
an option. And if it isn't, we could pour our own forms, you know,
Yeah.
to whatever spec. Like I said, I just got led down this path by the guy who made the bridges. He goes, you could just use one of these helical piles, and I'm like, oh, I saw those on Cabin Masters. Right? You know, you guys ever watch that? So-
What about if you went closer to 3A, is there any place before you get to the first turn? Where the big tree went down, or is that further? Is it better
I
span?
Yeah,
Problem
this
is
is- this
the
isn't really
landing on
that
the
far
other
down
side,
from there.
There's like nowhere to go.
On
Just
the-
past
on
that
the-
loop.
It's
Garden side?
it's soft over there.
It's, yeah, from
That's what I
this
was
point
wondering.
downstream is a better spot, because when you walk to
No,
the
I'm
other
not
side, you
going
can actually.
upstream.
Yeah, it's
You can
also a
have
lot wider up there too. This is where it narrows
Yeah.
down in the current.
I personally would like 2. You
Yeah.
know, two bridges, so you could walk across, go on the other side, and then loop, you would have a big kind of like loop, but
Is there a way for us to get all the way down to the river there? There is.
you can go for it. I've tried.
You can
You haven't
go
made it?
on the part where Wilson said don't walk.
But when we walked it the other day, the land, once you get around the big bend, you know, with the Parker Parks, people usually stop. If you walk along the river there, it's much nicer.
Yeah,
It's actually,
beautiful down there.
yeah, much nicer than the area that we actually walk on right now at Parker's Park.
So you could.
We could increase the usable area quite a bit with a bridge.
That's what I thought the goal was with it.
I
Yeah.
wonder if we'd have an option to do like a cable bridge or something like that too. I don't know if that would
And I
be cheap.
used to do a lot of work in West Virginia, and that's all they have, those cable bridges.
Okay,
Kind of cool. Scary, but I
We have a lot
I
of-
like to be
Go for
scared a
cheap,
little
go to Home
bit.
Depot.
we have a lot of things to talk about. This was the initial thing. Let's move along. Let's not get cables. Soon we'll have zip lines. I'm all for one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that could be the Meds talk.
All right, that's cool. So,
Drawbridge. What do you think, Mike?
George, maybe check with the Trails Bureau if you shoot the guy an email if you're not too hopped up after your surgery.
It won't be tonight, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna call the Hudson Concom too and see if
Sure,
I can find
perfect.
out who did
And-
those bridges
and if you-
and get you a contact name.
If you find some information, you know, just create a file and put it in that folder. It's-
Make that sound so simple.
And if this starts to grow legs, then we'll
I have a
go
problem
talk
with
to the
that.
Board of Selectmen and just
Right,
kind of go down that path. But
but, yeah, we should just start making, you know,
Yeah,
I like it.
let's do
I
it.
think it would open up
Yeah.
that place. It would connect the
Especially
community
connecting
garden.
to the
It-
garden.
yes.
It
Yeah.
would be nice.
Yep.
and divide and conquer too. You don't have to do everything, so just let us know where you need help.
True,
Are we good on that?
100%. Well, is
Okay.
everybody else good?
Conservation Commission goals for 2024. Hold on, bear with me a second here. Where the heck did I put those? I put together a list of goals for the Conservation Commission for 2024 based on ideas that folks sent in.
What folder are you in there?
Yeah, I'm trying to see where, we all went to the spaghetti dinner tonight, so we kind of ran in here. We're not all super duper prepared, but.
A little tired from eating.
Okay,
last
so up on the portal, it is, I'll send out the link, but here's what we have right now for goals for 2024. I think we've got about 15 in here, so we've got kind of a significant number of goals. We'll see what we can meet, but I'll just run through them quickly. Property maintenance, inspect our properties on a monthly basis and address issues. For community outreach, hold the fishing derby and hold at least one other community event, which could be the pollinator garden. 3 is improve properties per our land management plan. We've got 10 things in here. Continue the community garden and add additional plots. Improve the community garden, try to get water supply up there or something else. Treat the milfoil at Dara Pond. Clean up Parker Park and clear off those trails. And there needs to be some other bridging done down there as well. Start planning for a bridge at Parker Park. I said plan for a bridge because I don't know 100% if it'll be able to get done this year, but we'll see if we can pull it off in the fall. Continue to restore the muster field. Remove the trees at the river access that are hanging over the trail. Got to figure that out. We didn't do that last year. Get that bat house installed. Look at that Lonely Fort Trail, as you had mentioned, Diane, and figure out what we can do down there. And then Matt's idea, and I think George as well, with the QR codes at the historic properties. So that specifically at the muster field, build a map out at the kiosk, have QR codes that show where all the different historical things are on that site. It's quite a bit, a lot in there. Under conservation planning, review the land preservation strategy we did a couple years ago to see if we need any modifications. take a look at any properties and landowners and things like that, and just have communication with those folks. Then we have, kind of winding down here, review the bylaws. Would be something that we need to do over the next coming couple months. And then item number 6 is long-term goals. These are kind of carryovers from last year. One thing that I think we need to keep an eyeball on is the riverbank stabilization at the muster field. We gotta do something down there. There is a grant program called the ARM Fund, Aquatic Resource Mitigation Fund. I actually called them last year, and they said that this could qualify, but you need an engineer to develop an engineering plan for it. I actually emailed Lou. I never heard back from him, so I might wanna do that as well. New trails, butterfly garden, go to a couple Conservation Commission meetings in neighboring towns. And then Diane and Joan, clean out the file cabinets, which you guys said you would do last year.
She wouldn't do it in the summer because it was hot and she
You
was
said we'd do it in
traveling.
the winter.
And then we were gonna
Too
do it in the
cold.
winter.
Working on it, working
Yeah,
on it.
Yeah.
we'll figure that out. We'll all
Yep.
get in there one day.
Yep.
No.
I bought a ton of file folders for it too.
We need the hanging things because everything's kind of
Following.
going
Yep.
this way and this
Yeah,
way.
yeah, it has needs.
So that's what I've got right now. This is just kind of a running list. Anybody got anything to add? We can touch on this a little bit in the next couple months.
I was
I think
thinking
it's a
that.
good-
I
good
think you got it.
Yep.
Get
We
more?
do the bird walk, and maybe the
Yep.
end of April. Things are early this year.
Did I hear we had an owl house too?
No, we
Not
don't have
just
an
a bat
owl.
house?
No, we have
Talked about doing.
two bat houses, like,
Okay.
So we have a duck house at Lonely Ford Trail that has duck eggs in it right now.
Oh,
Really?
good.
Oh, cool.
Yep,
Who's,
Yep, at the
whose
very,
game
very
cam is
end.
that?
it's ours.
stars.
It's
Yeah.
our game cam.
Oh no, it's not a game cam. It's, you can undo the door on the side and I opened it and looked and there were eggs in it.
Yeah, but there's
When
a
did
game
you
cam on a
date-
tree right across the street from, it's ours.
It's ours, yeah.
So
When
where's
did
the
you-
footage? Is
I
it
did that
on,
yesterday.
is it on the card?
Yeah, it's on the card.
Okay.
Is that ours?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
ours.
Matt put it down there.
Oh, okay.
Matt Lepore put it down
I
there.
would have waved.
I don't think anybody's looked at it in years. We should probably get the card.
That'd be great. We'd get an idea how many people were down
Yeah.
there. Cause I'm thinking that,
No, I
like
think it's
solar-
only, it's
solar
aimed at the
power?
box.
Or how many people were down
Is the
there?
battery still?
You don't know how
good?
many people saw the game cam and did not made sure they weren't on it.
Right.
good idea too.
We can put all the pictures up in the portal.
All right,
Not mine. I
in a
didn't
couple
pee out
weeks,
there.
I'm on it.
All right, cool. Anything else there? All right, let's go back to the regular scheduled program. Okay, so we're good on new business, folks. We're going into old business. Moores Falls sidewalk update.
Yes, I have an update on this.
Okay,
So evidently, Mr. Moreau called here and talked to Donna to see what steps who he should be talking to. And then Ms. Kleiner got involved. And then I emailed Mr. Morrow right away and said, I thought you were getting us some information. And he emailed back and said, yes, you're right, that it's in his court that his engineer is supposed to be getting him all this information. So that's what we're waiting on. Because we can't go to Fish and Game without a written
Okay.
plan, or the map power company.
and then in that flurry of emails, he ended up getting back to one of my emails today as well, and he said the same thing that you did. That they're gonna go out and survey underneath the power lines, 8-foot sidewalk. He gave me some specs on the pavement and stuff like that, and he's gonna send us a plan soon. That's
Now,
what
he
I-
had wanted to do the groundwork in the winter, but I don't think it's gonna be this winter because it's gonna take a while at Fish and Game.
Yep. I agree.
And then it said, we talked about cinder pathway last month, but did we decide that you could do pavement or you couldn't do pavement with that grant, with that easement that we have from Fish and Game?
I think when we
I thought we
we
couldn't.
brought up the
Yeah.
deed on the screen.
Said we couldn't.
And it didn't say you couldn't do pavement. It said walking paths were in there,
Okay.
but it didn't say non-paved walking paths.
thought it did.
I thought it did too.
I don't think it did, because they were sitting in the audience and they were saying, oh, okay, that sounds like it'll work.
I thought it
I'll
was.
relook at it again.
Yeah, let's double check that, because me and Joan both.
Okay, so that's
So
what
we
know.
expect a plan from them in the coming weeks, and then we'll, I guess, push that up to Fish and Game and see what happens.
And National Grid, or
Yep.
whoever that is, yeah.
Excellent. Dara Pond milfoil update.
And I do have something that goes along with that, but go ahead.
I've not heard back from them yet about the quote. Last time I talked to him, he said that he was in the middle of doing a whole bunch of, well, it's not the quote, it's the,
The date.
License?
the whole contract, right? So,
Schedule and
the
everything.
schedule and everything like that, so, I'll have to get back in touch with him.
We did get permission from the selectmen. to
Yeah,
go.
we're all good to go.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, we're all good to go.
Okay.
So the DES, survey that they're doing there, they're going out in a week or they thought sooner, with the canoe, so I just have to make sure that gate is open. And I did copy the, Recreation Commission, but I haven't heard anything back from them.
I don't think they've been closing the gate, so I
don't
think you're good.
either. Yeah, I just wanna make sure.
It's been
So
opened, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll go out soon, like, within the next 2 weeks, I think.
Okay. So we got a lot going on here. So for the public out there, knock on wood, we're gonna be having some sort of sidewalk at Moores Falls from the new condo facility across Moores Falls. And then goal for this year is clean up Dara Pond and treat the milfoil. And as also, what you're saying, Joan, is UNH is gonna come out and also do a study.
DES,
DES is
Department
gonna,
of Environmental Services.
excellent.
So they came to us out of the blue to do this?
They had done it maybe years ago at Dara, and they
It's a win.
No, it's great.
Oh, it's awesome.
Hmm.
Lucky.
come 2 or 3 times.
Excellent. Anybody got anything on that? Ball keeps rolling here at the Conservation Commission, right, Harry? Musterfield stump mulching. We discussed this last fall, and I just wanted to bring it up to the commission just in case anybody had any issue with it. But we had a volunteer come forward. Back up a second. So we've been cleaning up the Musterfield at Moores Falls, the upper field. And Matt and I did a lot of work over the past year, cutting all that down and cleaning it all up. And the Historic Society is very, very happy with that. When we did a lot of that cleanup work, there was just a lot of small trees there that weren't big, that were just brushed down, but it's causing a problem with like our mower. We bent the mower deck on it because we kept hitting these little stumps. So there's somebody in town that actually has like a stump grinder type of thing that's willing to go up there and clean that up for us.
Nice.
And I did talk to the, at no cost, volunteer to do it.
Great.
I did talk to the historic folks, and they are gung-ho for it to get that cleaned up. And if we can do that, my thinking is we might be able to throw down some of that conservation mix up there. And maybe, well, I'll talk to Tim at Tim's Turf and see if it will take. But if they can grind that up, we might be able to put some of that conservation mix up there. And it might take over. I mean, I'm not a grass person, but it might end up taking over the scrub that's up there right now. And we might just be able to have an easier time keeping that maintained.
Now, with the banking there, it is pretty unstable. The stumping guy shouldn't get too close to the banking. We need to leave the vegetation along the banking.
There would be no vegetation removed.
Well, I mean, I don't know, I've been up there a little while ago, and it looks pretty good, but like you said, that banking is not real stable. I don't know how unstable it is, but we should,
On the
Yeah,
riverside,
we
On the
definitely
riverside.
would wanna like, I mean, just like we have now, like keep like an 8-foot buffer
Yeah,
where it's,
yeah,
where it's
exactly.
stable.
What you
So
mean,
basically where we have it cleared now.
yeah, okay.
The thing that he's bringing up there is no bigger than the little tractor that we had. And Mr. Charbonneau let us use his bigger brush hog up there, which is more like a Bobcat. That was
That'd be good up there, because when you walk, you're tripping over all those little stumps.
That's
That's
what
what we wanna get
he's
rid of.
trying to, it's got a forestry blade on it, which
Yeah.
is not one of these, but
Okay.
it does this. And I think it'll kind of churn all that stuff up and we can make it nice up there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if it works out and, we'll go from there. So that was stump mulching, fishing derby. Who wants to take the ball on the fishing derby?
George.
Okay, can you go to,
On the presentation.
folder
We got
8?
pictures?
I have pictures.
All right.
Diagrams?
What folder am I going?
Folder 8.
Folder 8.
So,
Oh, great.
I met with Harry, and actually, I'm glad to see you're feeling better now, Harry. Harry sent me a list of all the things that need to be done in order to make sure the fishing derby happens. And Harry and I were gonna meet with all the department heads in town, but Harry got sick, so I was the sole member that met. So, met with police chief, highway department, town administrator, fire department, right? So they're all on board, and I gave them all the information you gave me, Harry. So you coming up with my,
Yep.
you getting there?
Keep going.
Okay, so, the police department's gonna have a patrol car there, maybe 2. Fire department, they're gonna have EMTs on call. They may not have one actually there. They will try to have maybe somebody there, but there's 2 guys on call already, so they might be there. We will have an electronic sign advertising the event. That sign actually comes from, Continental, Rick Charbonneau. And so the town does not have a sign yet. I guess there's talk about us getting some signs at some point.
Yeah.
But, the captain of the fire department has a contact inside of Continental who'll get whatever we want out there. Okay, highway department's gonna put out the signs, the cones. Wilson Farm said we can park there. The fish have been ordered, and I've submitted the invoice, and I asked if we could possibly pay him early. It might help him get through his non-paying season better. I don't know if that went through or not. Oh, Diane, can we park at the community garden?
Yes.
Okay, that's done. I talked about, we had an issue with potentially keeping the fish back last year. So there were fences erected downstream and upstream, and there was some issue. I found the fencing. The fencing was in the little building outside of Town Hall.
Okay.
And so the,
You might have taken,
I took
the softball fence.
it was given to me, it's green. There's another one
Hopefully the
too.
rec commission
Is
is
it
not
orange?
watching this.
No, I was given it to by the rec commission.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, yeah, the
You're not
contact,
responsible for the content of this.
John, can you edit that out?
Oh, my God.
Jeff Town
Gonna
gave
make
me this
WMUR.
fencing. There's also 12 push-button fishing rods for the kids as loaners that the rec commission has.
Nice.
So, my last duty before I went under the knife, I went through and relined put on new hooks, and, those are all set. I just have to get bobbers for those. Okay, so everything's kind of going on plan.
If we switch those out, they lose their hooks like every 5 minutes.
What kind of hooks? Are they barbless hooks, by any chance?
No.
No, they
Oh,
are
goodness,
bait
skins.
holder hooks so that the worms will stay on, and they're small enough that they're gonna be able to catch these 8 to 10 inch trout, okay? There were some really big hooks on some of these things,
Yeah.
and
This
they
bass.
they
Like a
weren't,
3-pronger?
these kids were not gonna be able to catch
Treble
little fish
hooks.
with these. Some of
My
them had some
granddaughter caught
small hooks
nothing.
on them, but anyways, they all have either size 6 or size 8
Because
bait hooks.
they
bait
go
holders.
through quite a few.
Hooks.
I was putting new hooks on, like,
Yeah, so, okay, that brings me to, I will need a motion. So, we made a motion to approve money to buy the fish. Next year, we should make a motion to buy the fish, buy the prizes, buy the supplies in one motion.
Yep.
And that way, we won't have to go back and forth. So I think we have $750 in our budget line item for this. We've spent $425.
What about bait?
Well, that's part of the supplies.
So
Yeah.
when you say 425, so rec is gonna be contributing 50%. Is
Like they-
the 425 our side?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we're at 8.
We spent $850 on fish.
Wow, okay.
Okay,
Harry, how's that compare to last year?
This is
$8.50 on fish.
Actually, the price has gone up.
yeah,
Mike donated a ton of fish last year.
Yeah. And in fact, what happened between George and I had called a guy in January just to verify the price of fish. And he had given me $4.25, and poor George called the guy, and the guy said, "Oh, I don't know where you got the $4.25, but it's gone up to $4.50."
right. Well,
So
he
that
said,
was-
unfortunately, we had to raise our prices.
Yeah.
And the 425 didn't include the $60 delivery fee.
fee. Which,
So-
you say 60 now? Or
Yeah, it was 50, yeah. Well,
50,
everything's gone up. Right.
yes.
So, and this guy's a small business, right? He's not making a ton of money, on these fish, I don't believe, but whatever. So it is what it is. So I've written that down to make sure next year we include everything in the initial budget. You had to do this last year, right? You had to go back for, different.
Well, I think the way we worked it last year was that we had the budget, and we didn't have to make a motion for everything that we spent. If
Right, that was,
I believe that's not what we had to end up doing,
Oh,
okay? The expensive stuff, the fish, obviously, because the fish, you're sending out an invoice,
right.
okay? Or you're sending out a check from the town. The worms and the line and
that's reimbursable.
whatever else you needed.
Okay, so I don't have to get a motion for that? So
No,
we've got 100
not
in
that I'm
prizes
aware
and maybe
of.
100 in other stuff. So I'll just submit and, half and half will get
Save
spent
the
by.
receipts,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
definitely. George, one thing I forgot to mention is name tags. What we did with the kids last year is, and Matt was with me, is when the kids come in and register, you put a name tag on
Yeah.
them, but you put a number, not their name,
For safety.
because of safety concerns. Okay? And that way that,
And then you put the number on the sheet where they sign in?
With their name, with their actual name.
yeah,
Yeah.
when
Just
they
the
register in,
Sure.
you put the
Okay.
number down and you
It's easier to
put a
find.
tag on them, so when they come back, it makes it
A
a
lot
heck of a lot
Yeah.
easier to,
And we had the pond closed signs, I have some in my office.
Right, yeah.
It's not a pond,
I have
but
to-
they'll work,
We have to figure out a spot to put
they're
them.
metal.
So can you, I do have pictures. Can you go down?
Okay. Okay.
did you
Like
get
that?
hold
Click-
of,
Oh, you went past it. You have to click on that link, sorry.
Oh, this one? It's not actually a link, so you're making me work for it. I have to cut and paste.
Oh, all right, I'll insert link,
Yeah.
I told you.
Can you
I've
make
got-
that a hyperlink?
I,
next
that's,
time?
I will do that next time.
Okay, let's
I-
go
I
to
can learn.
here.
Yeah.
Ah, shoot, hold on.
I just cut and paste, I don't,
I
yeah.
accidentally,
You
Got
need to
too
know
many
your
tabs
limitations.
open.
Document writing is not my, well,
oh, hold on, there it is, hold on. Control C. Control V, hit it. There we go.
Okay.
The fishing derby prep folder.
Love it.
What do you want us to?
no, well, that's just my own private, Google
Oh, that's
folder,
private.
but, but I sent you a link. Don't worry, you can see it. It's,
Okay.
I think I might have shared it. So, I found a new location, so you can see that there's an area where it's only like, for the most part, 6 inches deep going across, the stream. So I thought that would be a good place to put the,
Is that
fish
farther
lake, that's-
down, or?
it's just around the corner where the down trees are, so it's a little bit farther down, but there's also a pool just to the left that will, if they go downstream and hold there, it'll be like fishing in a barrel.
Oh, I like
So
that.
it'll be good for the kids.
You can't go
George,
too
did
far.
you get hold of Wilson Farm?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Inside
Could
information.
you go,
Yeah,
all right, so this is the fencing, that I got out of the,
I don't think that's the softball fencing.
That's the stuff we used last year.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, and that shows that we have measuring
No, it's
devices,
not the softball.
for measuring the fish, and those are the fishing poles.
Okay.
Straight,
Fabulous.
keep going. So this is me putting that fence across the stream.
Who took that photo? Did you
I-
set up a tripod?
I have a photographer on staff. I have a photographer and a driver, and I have a civil engineer. So well, no
You're
surveyor.
not a civil engineer.
She's not. She's a surveyor. Okay.
He set up a drone.
Okay. So, anyways, I have these large, or they're 4 foot long metal posts that we had for like a dog fence, and they go in just like a big nail.
Yeah.
And I only used 6 of them going across there, but they worked pretty good. Can you go to the next one, or maybe go full screen? I don't know. But so you can see how it goes across there pretty good, and it
Yeah.
only gets to about just under knee height at the very deepest spot.
And you can see in the background there, you can see the front side of Parker Park. So this is
Yeah.
right after the loop, with
Yeah.
the kind of oxbows.
Yeah, I call it the
I
peninsula,
think
right?
that's probably a pretty good idea, to put it back that.
What, the bridge or the fence?
No, the fence and the bridge.
And you can see between me and that fence, there's actually a deep pool. It gets to be like 4 or 5 feet
Yeah,
deep.
it's a kids fishing derby.
No, I'm telling you, that's where the fish will go. I mean, the kids will fish there. It's not for me. But there's not a very good spot for kids to fish, and so.
The nice thing too there
But-
is there's a lot less junk in the water too.
And look at that bank, yeah. So if we could get them to hang out there, we'll dump
Yeah,
some
is
right
that, is
there.
that past the big curve?
Yes.
Is it Past the big curve.
Just past the big
It's
Yeah,
right
yeah,
after.
yeah.
It doesn't look like
We
she would
were,
lose her,
we
her
were
hook every
farther
time
down
she
last
casts.
year.
That was so
No,
stressful.
you weren't.
And then
This
she'd
is- this
flip
is
out.
way past.
This is
Oh
way
my,
past
oh my God.
Wait,
I have to
Yeah,
leave
this
now.
is where-
One ice cream will go.
Oh, okay.
All right, folks.
Gavel.
All right,
Okay, on with the presentation.
Next.
Okay.
So, then you can see, I don't think I probably have too many here, but
That's George standing in the water.
I know.
It's not too
So,
deep there, that's good.
Yeah, so, but you can see it's not that deep, okay, keep going, I think we're done.
So the pool is,
Do your waders leak?
My waders do not leak, and I have 2 pairs in case we need help doing that. Okay, so, there you go. And, so that shows you, that's as deep as it gets, that's the very deepest spot, it's under, and I think that material works fine, we don't have to buy another fence.
So we also talked to the property owner on the other side of 3A. He said we have permission to put in a fence over on his property.
Okay.
is that
is
people's?
the fish
Yes.
went upstream?
Do you think it would
under
But
the-
he also said that the stream just goes up and goes around, and then there's a dam right there too. So I gotta take
Yeah.
a look at it, but we might not even have to put up a fence on
Oh, okay.
on the
That'd be-
other
And he's
side.
got a covered bridge back there.
Yeah.
Keep going,
Okay, there we go.
keep going. Okay, so,
It's George again. So George,
I did check to see, I was told it was really rocky there and hard
Yeah,
to put in
is.
fence posts. These narrow fence posts I was able to put them in going across it. So
Okay.
we can put the fence there with those fence posts, I think. Okay, because they're so narrow, they can go between small cracks in the rock rather than the wide metal ones. So
I also have a fence post driver that can bang stuff in pretty good.
I put these all in with just a handheld, like 2 pound.
Harry? Sounds like you.
Yeah, I think that's it.
No, the only thing,
Yeah.
the way you're gonna put the barriers, what about the current? That was a big
Yeah, it was-
problem last
It was
year.
higher than this
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah,
Right,
but
so-
with the place that George is proposing, it widens out
Yeah.
there so that the current
Oh,
won't be
okay.
nearly
What about here
strong.
on this upstream side?
We're saying on this upstream side, we can potentially do it on the other property owners to put a fence there, but
Yeah.
Will they
we
go
might
up-
not even need
will
it,
they
'cause
go up
supposedly
through the, will they go up under 3A, the fish?
Yeah, they could possibly. And on the second, the downstream location, I put the fence at an angle as well, so that'll minimize
Yeah.
the flow right onto the fence.
All I hope is that it doesn't rain as much as it did last.
Yeah, that could be an
Check last
issue, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
No control over that.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, I think that's it.
What
Wow.
da- what's the date again?
May 18th.
And I can't remember what we had for a motion last time. We'll have to just kind of take a look there, because we did put a dollar amount
On,
Yes,
on what?
Just
on
for the fish.
last motion.
Yes.
I don't know if it's in the minute.
it was for 425.
Okay, so if we go above the 425, we do need a motion to spend that. above and beyond that.
So what's the up to? What's our budget for it?
Fishing derby.
The total was 750, I believe, was the budget.
Yeah, the budget was
We have
750.
325, right?
And I'm looking at the budget right now, and it looks like they're not loaded yet.
Okay,
The
Joe?
motion, I'm surprised they're not, that, they buy 200 fish for May fishing derby at $850 to be split with the rec commission. Each commission must create $425 for this project.
Okay. So how much additional do you need for the extra stuff?
Or for the fish were more than four.
No, no.
Fish up to.
They're all done with the fish, now he needs
I
the
capped the
rest.
fish at, we spent the 850 on the fish, okay? We ended up getting a few less fish,
Okay,
but I wasn't gonna come back for two separate motions to
Okay.
two boards when I had the guy lined up.
Okay.
So can we
get-
do up to, it would give us $325.
Yeah.
Right.
Left to spend for our budget and left to spend for rec.
And I don't think we're gonna come anywhere close to that,
Two
but,
fifty?
yeah, 250 or 200, yeah, 250 would be fine, or,
Okay.
there's no way I'm spending 500 more dollars, okay? But, you know, I might spend
300.
300.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are the big things we have left? We have
Worms.
prizes.
Prizes.
Minimal amount of supplies, like extra hooks and
Hooks,
stuff like that.
bobbers.
and,
worms.
Worms,
Yeah, we got worms.
right?
Worms have.
And I think we. who did
And
we use for
containers,
worms last
you
time?
know,
We
so-
You've got a
the,
guy that will
Got a guy.
donate some worms, or
Pardon?
did you have a person that would donate, or at least
He's
Worms.
gone out of
discount?
business,
Oh, he's gone out of business.
yeah.
yeah, and the worms are really not that expensive.
Does Litchfield Food Mart do,
No, you go to Mark's Bait to get the worms.
okay.
Go to the retail, the wholesale.
7-Eleven has worms?
Well, I've already talked to Mark Spate,
okay.
so,
Well, at 7-Eleven, you'd probably
Has
pay,
Mark's Bait gone
now,
up?
I paid $3
He doesn't-
last year,
doesn't want
Yeah.
to do wholesale.
and that was a discount, because they were going for $3.75 a carton. I believe they're now $4.25
No,
a
okay.
carton.
And how much is in a carton?
Okay.
But anyways,
A bunch.
It's a
A bunch.
24
in
trout
in the end, I'm not gonna spend more than 300 more dollars, I don't believe.
Okay, so we're at
So-
425 right now.
Right,
We have a budget line item. I cannot find the budget line item
Right,
because it doesn't look, I'm looking at the budget report and our numbers have not loaded in yet. So we're all at zeros.
Oh, after town meeting, that's right.
Okay.
They let us-
So, they haven't loaded in yet, so we know we have, I thought we had 700 in that.
okay.
So if we're at 425, 525, 620, that's
325.
$275
So
left.
why don't I just say $200 from each?
325 left.
No, but I only want up to 200 from each board for a total of
Okay,
400.
we can only control what we do, so.
Okay, up to $200 from
All
us.
So I'll entertain a motion to spend up to $200 from the, bear with me a second, from the Youth Fishing Derby line item of the Conservation Commission budget to support extraneous supplies and other bait and other things needed to support the fishing derby.
Prizes, yeah.
To be split with the recreation?
Nope,
No,
we,
we
nope,
can't say
we're
that.
only doing 200 from us. Recreation is completely separate,
Okay,
so it's only coming from us.
so moved.
Motion by Diane, seconded by
I'll second.
Carrie.
Go.
Oh, seconded by Mr. Croto, snuck in there.
Oh, sniped.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries 600. There we go.
Moving right along.
Agenda.
Back to the agenda. Diane, I got a million,
I
Oh, we
know you
did-
do.
we
Think-
I
did-
can see them up there.
We
Do-
did milfoil.
Here we are, you're there.
Yeah, we did.
We did milfoil.
All right, so.
All right.
Milfoil's done. Fishing derby's done.
okay, Dara Pond, Milfoil, we already did that. Other business, we're already up to other business, folks. Property checks, property maintenance, anybody go on any field trips in the past month? Diane?
I did the Lonely Fort. It was in really good shape. There was nothing blocking the trails. There was one area that was wet, which is the little gully that we've talked about needing to put something in. A little footbridge. It doesn't have to be elaborate.
Right.
Well, that's-
And then there was a duck box at the end, where the big wetland area is, and there's a little latch where you can open the door, and I kind of took a peek, and I took some pictures, but we don't have a QR code set up for there yet, so we need to do that. And there was 2 eggs in there that were whole, and there was 1 egg that had hatched, and that's the box that Matt put up, one of his last projects.
Excellent.
Was there a duckling looking back at you when it happened?
No duckling, no,
No.
just the the egg was cracked and open and there
Oh,
was some
could be
feathers
last
in
year's
there.
eggs then, so, okay.
Well, I'm not sure, that's why we need to go
She had a
back.
good picture of one. It looked like a full-on egg, but I don't know
Yeah,
when.
they're two big eggs.
But people shouldn't, be opening that
Yeah.
too often.
Don't open that door,
Just me,
folks of Litchfield.
just me. I just
Not too
peeked.
often.
Are they wood ducks, or do you know?
I think he had mergansers going in there last year.
We will soon find out.
Yeah, we will
From the
soon
game
find
cam.
Okay.
That's right.
I might go down and check out the game cam
There
this
you go.
weekend.
We had
So
another one too,
that's-
I don't know where
Yeah,
that,
that's what they are, and I don't know whether they're last year's eggs, but
Is it, do you know if that game cam is, solar powered?
no, it's not.
Battery.
So the batteries
Bring
are
one with you.
probably
so there's
long
one that's
gone by
cracked,
now.
one little piece is
sorry.
left, some feathers, and a couple of dirty looking eggs. So I'm not
Excellent.
sure. If they're old eggs, they should come out. But it
Well,
is,
we don't
it
wanna
is
take them
egg,
out yet.
it is egg laying season for our wild duck friends.
I did not know that.
I looked it up.
Oh.
I was curious, and it is.
Anybody else? Matt, anything?
I did, check up at Moore's Falls, things look good up there. Still have a good supply of poop bags, so.
Okay.
How's the trash?
Trash was fine, there was a little bit of trash, so I think, the town is emptying that out
Oh, good,
periodically.
good.
I
I
actually
was,
went down there too.
I'm gonna try to walk down there this weekend, to do the loop on the trail. I went there and I parked in the parking lot, and I forgot I bought a new TV, and it was sitting in the back of my truck. So I decided to bring the TV home, because I didn't think the TV would
Good move.
be there when I got back from my walk.
Wow.
I did go to, anybody else coming through here?
So when I was
Parker
putting that fence in at Parker Park, I found a Dorito bag in the middle of the stream and took it out.
Oh.
Otherwise, it was fine. Oh,
What?
Garden. You went to Garden Drive concert.
oh, yeah.
Fen Street, you went to Fen?
I found the fen on
good.
Garden.
Garden
I
Drive.
have a scout that pointed out where the fen is on Garden Street. And there are like some old, plastic pots and maybe a couple of plastic bags of
Oh,
trash or
okay.
something.
Garden Street Fen.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
Piece
fen.
of property.
It's kind of like
small.
Fenway,
yeah,
but it's
But
no
small.
park. It's just a fen.
okay, all right.
Okay, but anyways, we do need to go over there and clean that up at some point.
Is that
Good day.
wet over there?
Yeah,
The fen itself is wet, but right by the road, it's not
and then
that
you
wet.
come in from, I think it's Mike Lane on the other side, I think.
Pick a day, Georgia.
Is it at the dead end? of my- Yeah, okay, I know where it is.
And then on Garden, it fronts on Garden as well.
Joan, anything?
Not for property checks, no.
On, I've got one on property check, so I've been going to the, muster field once every couple weeks. It looks really good up there. We're gonna have to have a stick cleanup effort at some point in time in the next couple months. There's like a lot of stuff came down
Oh,
in
the
the
winter.
windstorms.
Yep.
So we'll have to clean that up. The other thing is I had, I'm a big fan of granite, right, Joan? So I do have some granite behind the fire station. And, one thing I'm thinking that we might wanna do this spring is because we kind of cleared out some of that pucker brush and the, bittersweet up along the
Hedge it.
river. Maybe we can put some of those posts on there just to deter people from going toward the edge. And so I have to split those manually. I'm gonna split them old school style with the feather and
feather.
wedge system.
Okay.
The granite.
Ooh,
Yep,
we're gonna get a
Oh,
video?
that's
I'm
fun.
sure there'll be an
And
instructional
When we
video.
do either clean up 3A or when you're working down there at Musterfield, behind the fire station, which is a birding hotspot, I might add, in the spring, it's kind of a bunch of junk back there, debris,
yeah,
stuff.
I noticed
We could
that.
Maybe get rid of some of that.
And there's a lot of bittersweet back there too, just choking.
Well, take it out of the trees, but the birds are eating it, and then they, of course.
And
Spread it
Spreading it.
everywhere.
And
No,
spreading it.
Spreading
Joan,
it.
no,
Yeah,
Joan.
spread it.
Love the birds, let them eat something else, let them
If
eat
you just
cake.
get one little area where we maybe can get across on the other side, we'll put that's gonna be a goal.
And they're gonna
for
go
next
right over
year.
the muster field and
To
poop
where?
it
Behind the
out.
fire station?
Yeah, I don't know. If we ever needed to get back there. Kevin Lynch last year mentioned that he wanted to redo a path from
We
GMS
did that one when we had.
over to the fire station. There is a way to do that.
Yeah,
Ooh.
you hug the edge of the, that's a good spot for looking for woodcock birds right about now. really cool birds that fly up and then crash down. And I've seen a bunch of wood ducks back there when it gets wet, which it probably is now, today.
Yeah, today. We're also got a poison ivy problem at the garden. It's the
Yeah.
same old place. One of the gardeners messaged me.
Yeah.
Denise, you messaged me that we have a big area back there.
I did buy last year 40% vinegar, like vinegar mix, but I bought it too late, and I actually sprayed it on there, I think it was like in October, but I
Should
did
be
the
done now.
research, and the leaves need to come out, and then you spray it on the leaves, so it's gotta be like June or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's June's a big month.
But
But-
now it's growing right now. Is there a way that we can dig it up now and move it out?
There's a lot of it.
No, it's heavy in there.
Yeah, I think you'll have to spray it.
Maybe,
So vinegar, 40% vinegar will work on the poison ivy?
I did a lot of I mean, we can't use Roundup up there.
No.
Too close to the river.
It's an organic garden.
It's an organic garden. It's
Mr.
not that
Croto,
it's
can
too
we
close
use
to.
Roundup for an organic?
Better get a waiver from the town.
We'll have to do it when Joan's not watching for sure.
Yeah. So I tried, and I do have some of that 40% still in the fire station. Now, I'll tell you this, whoever puts it on, I did read the little back of the package. Put gloves on and goggles and all
Skin
that.
off.
It's not like your vinegar underneath your sink or anything like
Sounds
that.
more
This
like
is like,
pneumonia.
Where do you get it? Hardware store?
you can get it at, you can actually get it at Lowe's or Home Depot,
Yeah,
but I just got
I've
it on
seen it there.
Amazon. Yeah. And poison ivy, all natural poison ivy killer.
Diane, speaking of the community garden, when are signups going to be open for
Yeah.
this year?
So, when we got to member input, I was gonna talk about
Okay.
that. I talked to John Brunel about having some availability at the fire department, meeting room to call a meeting, of anybody interested in all the gardens, area. So I'm thinking it's probably gonna be either this week or next week that we'll do
And the
it.
ability to rototill the part that's not rototilled?
So last year, Mark Riley came down and did it for us. It was very exciting. The two farmers that are like the primo farmers, have put in fencing that was very expensive and isn't going to be removed. So they're gonna have to take care of their own tilling, but there's a whole area that will be able to be re-tilled.
Good.
Yep.
Do
Mark
we
brought
need to
down a
get
big-
Mark again, or can we use the, Corey Flint has, at the Pink House,
We could
actually
ask
has a
Corey.
tiller on the back of his
Yeah, small
Kubota,
one.
that's a nice one.
We could talk to Corey. I'm
Did
gonna-
he do that last year?
No, he never did. By the time he got up there, Mark
It's
had,
done.
or he was talking to Mark, and Mark had told him that he had already done it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and Mark, Mr. McQuestion, had mentioned that he was gonna do it, but Mark had already gotten to it by then. So we do have, our farmers are able to help us out.
Diane, is there any update on the sign for the
So
garden?
Mrs. McHugh reached out to me on that too. And she has, her husband does the signs that.
Doug?
Doug does the
Yep.
signs that Jay has kind of done all over town.
Yep.
He's offered to donate one for us.
I
So-
owe him, I contacted him a couple of months ago now, probably before winter started. My sign guy isn't doing signs anymore, the little gray ones that are around town. But but the guy, Doug, said that he would help us out creating a sign that looks like it. But I've gotta buy a 4x8 sheet of HDPE, 1 inch thick, material that's kind of like white on the outside, and when you groove it, it's black on the inside. So, we gotta buy that, and then he can create signs from that. So I'm gonna do that. He gave me a place, it's actually in Norfolk, Virginia, that I'm gonna call and I'll order that. And, we'll have him do that.
And that's for what?
That is for the sign for the community garden.
Oh, he was gonna
Yep.
volunteer that.
Yep,
Okay.
but he
So-
needs the material,
Oh,
that's the thing.
okay,
It's not,
okay.
you're not doing it with wood, you need this
Right,
HDPE,
right.
it's like big PVC.
Okay. All right, Denise didn't tell me that. She just told me to tell me what he wanted and he was gonna
Yeah.
do it.
I've
So that's
got it,
because
it's in my court.
you're
I've
already
gotta-
in it. Okay,
I
that's
gotta order
good.
it.
So we need to get a meeting together. We need to do some advertising on the garden page. We need to do some advertising on the WhatsApp page, to let people know that it's available. I need to print out the, agreements that we had so that we can go over those at a meeting. Last year, we just kind of winged it. But this year, I'm definitely looking to be a lot more organized. We already have, so Matt, do you want one plot?
Well, my neighbor is very interested.
Your
He
neighbor's
wants to
very
do a
interested.
big-
Okay, so
big
there's
plot.
one. Jones,
I'll
2.
do one, I'll set a small one too.
Bond the Baker contacted me today, so that's 3 more.
How do you figure out the sizes, or just whatever people need?
So we have 2 that are like a standard size, and I forget what they are.
Okay.
But we have one area that was plowed out, that no matter how many people came forward, that we were gonna be available to use
It's
them.
big.
So it's kind of
goes
like,
another
what do you need?
50, 60 feet.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what do you need? What are you growing that you need the space for? And then we have the space available.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably put a limit on it though.
Yeah, I haven't had to do that. So until we do, I don't want to dissuade anybody who wants to do, like, we had a guy and we lost him, and it was really sad because he wanted to do hops, which was really, really interesting. And then we've had another person wanted to do a wildflower garden. But, the more people we can get interested, I don't want to, eventually we're going to have to make some decisions on what we're going to charge, et cetera. But I see that as being years down. This is a 5-year project to get it up and running, and then a 10-year project to get it so it's self-sufficient. We have things we need to do. We need a kiosk. We need irrigation. There's things we need. So I need the Boy Scouts badly.
One thing at a time.
Yep. I have an appointment. I talked to Dan Mitchell. He originally kind of shut me down for the garden because in his opinion, he wouldn't be close to it to use it. Well, now it's, even if they pass the school, it'd still be across from the garden. So he was like real interested. I talked to him tonight. So I'd love to get the elementary school kids over there, and I'd honestly like to move the pumpkin patch over there with their pumpkins, So there's a lot of stuff going on. I need to do a meeting. I need to get people involved. And if anybody, once I get the meeting it's probably going to be next week, get that date, I'll put it out there for us. And if anybody can come, I'd appreciate it. And anybody that's looking for a garden plot. So that's my,
All right. We're still on property checks, by the way.
oh geez.
Anything from anybody else? All right, so let's go through here. All right, circling back, member input. We're gonna go over to Mr. Croto over here. We'll go
I don't have
clockwise.
anything.
All right. Harry, anything?
No.
Diane, anything?
I kind of want to talk about the bylaws just a little bit. I printed them out, I've read them, we've talked about them in the past. We have 2 alternates on this board that are extremely active, and I'd kind of like to make them members, but we don't have room to do that. I know that they want to be members so that they can make motions and they can vote on a regular basis. I started to talk to Jay about it a little bit, how difficult it would be to add members. So I thought if we all talked about it tonight, I could get a better idea of whether or not we can add members, why we would or why we wouldn't.
I think 7 is the maximum, but RSA, you have to look at RSA 36A. I think 7's the max.
Our membership, Article 3 says 7,
Well, you have to look at the state RSA,
state
36,
RSA.
36-A.
36.
Yep. 36A colon,
36A is the
Okay.
the major one, then it goes.
if you Google New Hampshire RSA 36A,
Yep.
it'll pop up with all of the rules related to
36A:
Conservation
2.
Commission.
Colon 2 is
2.
membership, colon 2.
Okay. I'd like to add that. The only thing that I think that could be a problem is in the future, getting quorums. Does the
Yeah.
quorum change if we add 2 members?
You can't go higher than 7.
If we are able to, Joan, what I'm
I'm looking
asking.
up 36A.
Oh, you looked it up?
I'm trying to get
Oh,
to the
okay.
full.
So it looks like Mike is too.
Someone spoke somewhere.
I don't have the exact.
Mike's finding it.
Yeah,
I knew he'd be able to.
we'll have to research that.
Yeah, it just seems
No
that,
more than 7.
No more than
Oh.
Not less than 3, no more than 7.
oh, all right.
There
All
we
right, so
go.
that's a shame.
Valiant effort.
Yeah, it is. We also need to talk about our officer changes for next month. Jay has been begged to run again, and he has had so much on his plate.
I'm
that it's-
debating on it.
Are you still debating it?
No.
Oh my God, I was so
I've been
excited for a
doing-
minute there.
I've been doing the chair for 2
2
years. I wouldn't mind not being chair next year, put it that way. I'm not,
But now
So-
you're experienced.
what?
You're experienced now.
Yeah.
So if you decide that you want to, then we would need to take a unanimous vote to allow you to, because our bylaws say you could only do 2 terms. That's something that could be changed in our bylaws, I believe. I don't know, we'd probably have to check that RSA on that as well.
No,
I'm
term
gonna make a
limits,
motion for Harry.
term limits are not violent.
No. Yeah, so think about it, I'm not, I'd rather not do it, put it that way.
If you want
But
to
if
do
I've
it, I
gotta
don't
do
think
it-
anybody will fight you for it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do it, I have said I will step forward. I am ready to do that. I would rather, if you're gonna run again or run it again, I would like to be vice chair so that I could have a year being in that position before, stepping forward if I did.
Well, I would say also, it's open up to anybody that wants to on the
Absolutely.
commission, so, think about that, everybody think about it. We'll figure it out next month.
Also, I know there was a discussion of, did you want to get rid of the secretary's, position because we'd be having somebody do minutes, and I don't think you should. And the reason I don't think you should is because the secretary gives you a 3rd officer. Joan was absent quite a bit last year, and we still had 2 officers, so.
You need somebody to post things
Yeah,
here and on the website and at the library, and you need somebody to, follow up with.
A secretary is a good position to have, whether it's me
I
or
know.
somebody else.
Put
I
the
agree.
hard copy in the turn clerk room.
Let's do this, you just kinda sprung this on us with the,
The bylaws.
with the bylaws, so
Well,
let's put
because
that
we've-
on the, agenda for next month.
Sure.
They're up on the portal somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll just take a
We have
look
to
at, we'll
vote
read
next
through them
month.
and take a quick look at
We
it.
have to vote next month.
Okay,
On officers
Yeah.
is a vote that has to happen
Great.
next month.
They're in folder 7.
they're in folder 7. All you folks out there, the bylaws are in folder 7.
Let's go.
Just trying to help out.
Very good.
I had, Joan,
Yes, I have a couple things.
okay.
Okay, on February 7th and yesterday, March 6th, I did the 2 NHACC webinars, wildlife webinar series. February was Community Conservation for Wildlife, and yesterday was Wetlands for Wildlife, which was very informative. I did not know that salt is a hindrance to turtles. Runoff salt into vernal pools is a problem. It was a lot of good information, and they have a recording of that, so I can forward that to everybody. The other issue is, today we received the standard dredge and fill minor impact, they say, for signature homes for Talarico Street. I met I was happy I was here, met Bruce Gilday, who put this together. I've heard that name many times. And gave him Mike, we traded cards. I do not see in here, looking through it fairly quickly, where they talk about the 40-foot culverts. They talk about 2-foot diameter, but I don't see where they talk about 40-foot culverts. That plan will not get signed until this wetlands is approved by the Wetlands Board of the state, and they get their alteration of terrain and whatever other state permits they need. But I've got to go through this better and see if I can, I have 2 copies of this if anybody else wants to look. I have the planning board copy as well.
Is the Conservation Commission allowed to comment on that?
Yes, definitely. They just took it up to the state today, so.
There's supposed to be 236 and 224s. 236 for the
Inch.
mainstream, yeah.
Okay.
And then 224 is over.
And 224
But I know
for the sides.
the ones going under the road were 40-foot long.
Okay.
And I kept asking if we could get it open bottom covered, and they kept balking at that.
Right.
And I called the state, and they, I guess, hadn't seen this yet, so now's the time to go talk to the state again.
So what's the process? The state has to
We
approve
can,
this?
we can, we definitely can comment on this,
I
we should
see.
comment on it. And, then the state approves it, the Wetland Bureau approves it.
And that's
I did, yes.
available for review in the document reviewing room, right? So anybody
I
who
can
wants
put
to look at it. can-
Yeah, I can put the planning board's copy out there, because the selectmen get a copy, the planning board and conservation get a.
Is that in
and town-
PDF anywhere?
Probably not. I could find out from the
Yeah, that would be great if it was.
guy who
We
did it.
can put it in
This-
folder 3.
Is there a number that we
It's
can't have?
unauthorized.
I'll give him a call.
There's 7 folders and that's it.
I'll find out tomorrow or Monday. If there's a PDF. And, the railing at Albuquerque, but I don't think that's a conservation thing. The railing at Albuquerque,
On the bike path?
it's the, actually, somebody called me, I think it's the bench. But I think that's a town thing. I have to talk to the town administrator about that one, or Kevin Brown, or both. And I think that's all I had. Oh, I did meet the person on Carlisle Drive. I gave him the bat box that I had in my shed at home. And he's interested, he backs up to the Grassy Pond area, and we walked out there. Still don't know who has that monitoring well out at Grassy Pond.
Yeah, that's right.
And, it just says, Litchfield monitoring with LMW-36. I don't know who has it out there. It's either
Joan, I'll
DES or
take a look at
Pennachuck.
that, because you might be able to go onto the DES site and, look at, in their GIS environment, and they might have state monitoring wells in there already. So I'll just take a quick
Yeah,
look at that.
because they definitely brought heavy equipment in to get in there and put it in. It's quite large. I'll show you a picture of it in a few minutes. And, so the guy on Carlisle said he could put that bat box up. And we have a duck box out here in the shed, but it's heavy.
Well.
So, and we have to get with that metal, big metal, where did you say that big metal bat box is?
That's at the
station?
fire station. That's the one, Fred, if you wanna find a spot for that, we
Yeah, we were
can
gonna talk
install it.
about
Yeah,
Yeah, it's big, but it's not heavy, so
I don't know how you would mount, we've gotta figure out how to mount it, because it's gotta be pretty high.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
gotta be
that
over
would-
10
is
feet.
there guidance for exactly how high it needs to
Yeah.
be?
Yeah, it's gotta be over 10 feet, 10 to 18, 16, 18 feet.
Yeah.
The guy at the he did the lettering on the front door, if he's still in business, I think he has, he's a sign guy that has a lift.
He was my sign guy. He doesn't have a lift anymore, I don't think.
Okay.
Can just another question, can it go on a tree? Does it have to be on a standalone pole?
They don't recommend it because of the rodents, squirrels and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Chipmunks and
Well,
squirrels
one
get
that
in it.
didn't- Shouldn't have been on.
How are
the
you
tree.
gonna get a pole?
That's what it's,
Flagpole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, you're gonna do a
Potential wooden pole.
wooden pole. to it.
Remember I mentioned ladder on the back of a pickup truck and everybody covered their eyes and ears?
I didn't.
Non-OSHA.
I didn't ever
Yeah.
hear it. Didn't happen.
Here it
Didn't
is.
happen.
Okay, that one- okay.
And on the side it says HG, and the other picture,
6. All right,
HGS on the stake,
all right.
yes.
We're gonna have to figure out that bat box thing. Like, it's been sitting there for a few years, so,
Yeah,
I
quite a
mean,
few.
the worst case scenario is we do put it up in a tree, but if we
Yeah.
don't put it up in a tree,
That'd be an easy solution.
we're
Yeah.
gonna have to stick build something. We're gonna have to, I don't know,
if we
6
could get
by
it up-
6s in the ground and,
Get it up in a tree and put, sheet metal around the bottom so the mice can't get over that,
gotcha, oh, tinfoil? Or
Sheet
sheet
metal.
metal?
so I have some in my backyard. But we need to talk about it at some point
Yeah,
soon.
I like the idea of the monster field.
I do too. Those
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
mosquitoes will carry you away over there.
I think if we get it one down there, it'll be used.
If we have 2, one at the garden would be nice too.
Yep, they're bad there.
Yeah,
That's
they
why.
are.
Yeah.
They definitely are.
Yeah, so that, it may get actually more use at the
Garden.
garden potentially, but who knows? Depending on where the sun,
And depending
Oh,
on
the
what
sun
time of
hits
day people are
Depending-
in their
Maybe better.
gardening.
you know, we'll have to figure out
Depending on how much-
optimal location, yeah.
How much,
Activity.
Let's
pedestrian
get
traffic-
one up, and if
Yeah.
we need another one, we'll get another one.
We
Let
can
me-
always, we
They
can
don't
always
like
move
a
it.
lot of activity either.
Pedestrian activity,
That's-
yeah.
That's the only thing with the garden area.
Muster would be better.
Anything else, Joan?
That should be it.
George, anything?
Just one thing. We have the map that shows all of the Litchfield conservation properties in town.
We do.
We should have a lonely fort.
There's so the National Regional Planning Commission maintains that GIS database.
Okay.
And there are like, I'm gonna say about a handful of properties that we have that they don't have on there. So
Okay.
at some point in time, we probably just need to throw the map out on the table and highlight those and then have them update it, and then this will all get updated.
Perfect. Yeah, I
Granite
was
should
looking-
have all of ours, to Granite that you and
They
me should.
don't have all of them, every single, like, they didn't have the river access, I had that, the Regional Planning Commission had that. I had them at the Colby property, but I, missed out on the one that you're talking about.
Okay.
okay, yeah, no problem.
We need to talk about the survey too,
Which one?
the survey,
Okay.
economic development.
No,
That's,
we don't. It's not conservation.
Yeah,
Matt,
it is, I'm the
anything?
representative to that board.
No.
Conservation.
Okay. Myself, I had one thing, if you have something after, let me know. but,
Okay, yeah.
Regarding, last month, we talked about the Morrill Street development and the, open space behind.
Oh,
And we made a motion to, recommend that the Conservation Commission acquire that piece of property. Actually, accept that piece of property from the developer, is probably the better terms. The deed ended up going to just came down the pike today. The deed ended up going to the lawyer. The lawyer rejected the deed, but I think there was a mistake in the communication. I guess the lawyer didn't actually reject the deed. They rejected the easement for that little 20-foot strip,
That's where
the red strip, if you remember correctly.
that's where the problem,
oh,
But that red strip we removed that out of being an easement, and we included that in the property.
Yeah.
So we should not have an easement on that.
right, correct.
So, I did send a message to Town Administrator Kleiner and hopefully cleared that up.
Well, to a point, it's that,
Uh-oh.
that's cleared up, but we've been over this quite a bit today. But the acreage in the deed is not correct once you add in that strip, and isn't even correct with, because I think they had 26 acres and they have 23 on here, so that needs to be straightened out.
Okay. So sounds like we need to tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah.
And we mentioned to them in the meeting, we said, hey, make sure when you've got that deed, it said 26 acres or whatever it was, to make sure you add in that little strip over on the side, because we want to make sure we have that, because that's our access point.
Right. And it's not an easement, it belongs to the open space.
Yep.
That was where the confusion was, because the attorney had a separate document for the easement. And
We need to throw that second document
we
in
did.
the trash.
I think
That
we did.
is not applicable
Right.
anymore.
Correct.
That's all I have. Fred, anything?
No.
Diane, back to you. Did you have anything?
I did, because you guys had me do the Conservation Commission rep to the Economic Development Committee. The survey is finally done to go out to the public. There's a QR code for it. Myself and 3 of the other members are gonna be manning a table to have people do it. Why you moved into town, what you'd like to see for businesses within the town. By being there, we were able to get what we do out there into the survey. So that was helpful. Sometimes I wonder why we serve on committees, but that one actually was helpful.
has anybody taken it yet?
I looked at it, it should have said, how long have you been?
Anybody on the board?
I did look at it.
I looked at it. I
I
went
thought
through,
it
well,
was
we
very
went through it a
general,
million
to be
times.
honest with you.
Yeah, it was
so
better.
general that there's,
It's tough, yeah.
There was an
You wanted
other
to say
line on
more.
everything. It took a year, folks,
Yeah.
so it is
No,
what it
I-
is.
yes.
And, we were able to get some of what we do that people
yeah.
can look at
I-
into the survey.
When I looked at it, the one thing that I thought that I would have liked to seen, at least a box at the end that allowed people to like free-form text, just so
Other.
There is an other on every section.
No,
but there's
can you-
no place for you to add just content. I mean,
Yeah, I
I do
agree.
these
It was
polls and
discussed.
surveys all the time for work, and you get the best information you get is the person typing in at the end, just their ideas and their thoughts, and then you can kind of crowdsource through that data to kind of pull things out that kind of figure out what the pulse of the community is. That's the thing that I
Yeah.
thought that was missing out of it.
Yeah.
George, anything?
I actually do have something really quick. Maybe, and this is just a suggestion, we might want to have someone from the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions come in to talk to us. Those folks work up in Concord. They do a lot with legislation and with issues regarding conservation commissions. It might be just nice to, for some meeting at some time, invite them to come to one of our meetings and have a chat
They
with them.
do that? Would they?
Barbara Richter is the only
think-
one who's, is the head of it, like the executive director. I don't know how much staff she has, but did you all?
Or even invite her, I mean, or somebody to,
Did you all get the, I forwarded the legislative piece that came in today? That they
I saw that, I didn't really get a chance to look at it though. But just a suggestion,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good idea.
I like that, yeah, I like that idea.
because they are a resource to conservation commissions and.
Know these
I
folks?
can
Is
call
it-
her, yeah.
It would be nice to see if they even would entertain it, number one. And if they do, I don't know if they regularly visit meetings, but, you know, we're sitting out
Just a-
here on our own.
Yeah,
It's nice to know what other
that
folks are doing, what's the
there's an
pulse.
organization that actually, represents the interests of conservation commissions, so they,
They do lobbying.
so, just an idea.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, agreed.
Yeah, or like, best practices, what are we missing? What should we be talking about? What should
He
we
might
be
know a
looking at?
bridge guy.
You might know a bridge guy.
Yeah,
They might know of grant programs. They might.
We used to have quarterly meetings for just like Southern New Hampshire commissions, and like you went to Londonderry, that's helpful to do things like that.
Yeah. When I went to Londonderry, it was a different ball game over there. Their 2-hour meetings were really dealing with property owners coming in and building a shed and doing things within distances of wetlands and things like
We have
that.
the building department take care of that.
They have that walking path that they did over by the airport. And when they first opened it, it was pretty much open, they had the parking lot across the street, everyone could
Now-
park there
Well,
and,
that's closed because they're continuing the air tour towards the airport museum. And then I think Trailways, Londonderry Trailways takes care of that.
yeah, I just, now it's like, they've like, you can't even, I mean,
Go
unless
the
you
other- go
find,
to the other side in Londonderry and you can
Yeah.
park, and that trail goes quite a ways.
it does.
What are you saying? It's full or?
Well, they've restricted the parking,
Oh,
I have
really?
noticed.
Yeah.
Just curious if, why that
Right
is,
by the
but,
airport's at the old rail bed.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, anything else from anybody? Nothing? Nothing?
sorry. I don't know how soon we have to start this, but we know that we need to clean up Parker Park, and we'd like to get it done before the May 18th fishing derby. So, and it's not really our property, it's rec, so we need to maybe have a joint, thing. So do we put it on the agenda for next meeting to talk about it, to get it going? So the middle of April might be a great time to do it.
Yep.
And this is just a thought.
Maybe an email to Peter Eames,
Yep, I can do that.
ask
You
him
have
for.
connections on the board?
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
We don't want
Yeah.
it any closer to the day.
Yeah,
And they'll be cool with it. We need to get down there.
Right.
There's like, and Matt and I might, seeing you're
Laid
out
out
of commission for a while, you're coming up with a lot of ideas for a guy that has
He's
no-
like going, and you should do that,
I'm
you
a
should do that.
qualified field supervisor,
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Right.
Here we go.
Did we skip Matt as far as?
Give me a vest, and a hat.
Right.
Get a vest on.
I can't use a clipboard because it's
Yeah, I
only
was
one
good.
hand, but a whistle I could use.
And we might be able to do some of that in the near term, Matt. Like, we don't need the
Yeah.
rec,
Yeah.
the bridging is really on the area that's our easement. That's really where the bridges are, so we don't we don't necessarily need to go to them for that, but we need some manpower from those folks to
Right,
help us out.
Yeah, if we can set up a community day or something like we did at the, like you set up for the Mustard Field
2
last year.
hours and just
Right.
like clean it all up.
Get some good trailers and,
Who's got a connection to Wilson? Did you have a connection to Wilson with?
I have the number of the property manager.
Keith, what's his name, Keith Mitchell?
Harry's been usually dealing with Keith,
Yeah,
right?
What?
Have you been dealing with Keith? You called Keith to ask if
Keith
we can
Marshall,
park
that's
there?
Well, I called Keith and I forget the other gentleman's name last year about the property.
Yeah.
I also tried to convince him if we could use their watering hole,
Yeah,
but that didn't go over so good.
Kevin has a contact down there, I know.
so it's Keith Marshall is the,
Okay.
is the farm
Yeah.
manager.
The reason I ask that is if we do end up doing a cleanup there,
Yep.
we need to get an ATV or our tractor back on the back 40, and anything that we need to pull out, we can pull into the field and maybe take away.
So, I've already called him once,
Well,
I
you
can
can't-
call him to do
You
that.
can't, from where where you're gonna park, and then there's a big culvert. You couldn't get a tractor, you couldn't get a trailer across that. Unless you went in from there, where the house is, and go down that way.
Okay.
Could try
Yeah,
that.
if you talk to them, maybe see if we can get a truck or a trailer back there, just to,
Well, if
They
we
have
get
an
the
access
day,
road.
maybe I could ask, or do you want me to ask before we get the day?
I would just ask if we can generally do it. I
Okay.
mean, he might say, we're not gonna be planting until
Sure.
May 1st, and let's get
Well,
down there
there is
before.
a road that goes around the
yeah.
So, yeah, I'll go down, take a look at it, and make sure I ask the right question for the right access.
So,
Okay.
Joan, where did you say the culvert was?
Love
Right
it.
at the end of the parking lot?
Yeah, where our kiosk is, just beyond
You're
that,
gonna
there's
have
a
to, do you know,
big
public
culvert,
Okay.
Yeah,
big,
I,
not culvert, a, gully,
ditch,
ditch, that's the word, thank you.
I don't
maybe
think
for a
anything's
minute.
changed,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Minutes.
I forgot we didn't do January.
Yeah, we didn't do minutes for January or February.
February.
Let's go January 1st. Anybody got any comments on the January minutes? I thought you did, Joan, from
February.
February.
Does anybody have a copy of January?
Yeah.
I might have had
If everybody hasn't read them, then we can't do them.
Let's try to get these things knocked out.
We don't want to skip over and do February and leave January, that's,
I read January last month, and I didn't have any issues
I didn't
with the
have any
January
issues, I
minutes.
was
But-
ready.
But last month, Joan, when we were here, I thought maybe you said you didn't read them.
I could run and get them, but they're probably buried in my office somewhere.
Usually we're pretty quick with the minutes. What's going on here? Let's see.
'Cause I think we went late.
The January meeting, looks like we talked about the sidewalk project in January. Oh, that's when we came up with the conceptual plan, I think, for the sidewalk, on where it would go.
Right.
We talked about the milfoil treatment. Fishing derby. Oh. Looks like our budget was $750 for the.
Yep.
For the, fishing, derby, by the way, property checks. I read through these last month, so I didn't have anything? Anybody got? Anybody wanna make a motion?
I make a motion, we accept
I'll
them.
second it.
All right, motion by Diane, seconded by Harry to approve the January 2024 meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries 600. February.
Also read those.
February, I have one little thing I want to add under E, old business, Morse Falls sidewalk. It starts off, Miss McKibben said that she talked with Betsy. I just want to add Betsy's last name, and it's MCNAUGHTEN, comma, land agent for fishing game, from fishing game.
Okay. Want to say that again?
For Matt. For Matt, the section E, old business, number 1, Moores Falls, Betsy, it should be, her last name's MCNAUGHTEN, comma, land agent from fishing game. That's the only thing I had.
Anybody else got anything? Anybody have a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the February minutes of the meeting as corrected.
Second.
Got a motion by Harry, seconded by Diane. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
Abstain.
Abstain, motion carries 501.
What's the 7?
501. Okay, back to the agenda. Diane, do we have anything else?
Nope.
I think we're good. There we go. Next meeting is April 4th, 2024. So we're, got a lot, I think, on the agenda next month. Got a lot of irons in the fire. Public input, here for our second public input of the night, here at 8:13 PM. Anybody want to make a comment? Hearing none, closing at 8:13 PM. Non-public, can we do 5 minutes for non-public?
Yep.
We got one quick update. So now we're gonna go into I'll entertain a motion to go into non-public per RSA 91A:3D, consideration of the acquisition, sale, lease of real or personal property.
So moved.
Okay, motion by myself, seconded by Joan. You got a roll call vote on this one of the
Mr.
voting
Croto.
members?
Aye.
Mr. Mazigian,
Yeah.
I am a yay. Mr. Brennan,
Yes.
Vice Chair McGibbon,
Yes.
and Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 600. We are now going into non-session. Litchfield, we will only come out of this meeting to adjourn. We will see you on April 4th, 2024. Tune in early, we'll be here. Good night, Litchfield.
4 days before the total eclipse.
Yeah, 4 days before go see the eclipse. Darn, I forgot about that. Yeah, we'll be quick.
What did I?